When Los Angeles was shaken by a fire, the profound impact of this disaster left deep marks not only on the city's vastness, but also on the lives of its people and animals. Amid this catastrophe, two small heroes stood out: 4-year-old twin sisters, Emily and Ava. During the toughest days of the fire, these little heroes became a beacon of hope for 38 cats. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Armed with small baskets and hearts full of courage, they rescued cats from homes and streets. But their story didn't end there. What these little girls did went beyond just an animal rescue tale, earning admiration from places as far apart as Los Angeles and Washington. The twin sisters' heroism garnered significant attention. Both the public and government officials applauded these little heroes, awarding them and celebrating their bravery. The federal government recognized their efforts, turning these young girls into the nation's sweethearts, not just among animal lovers, but across the entire country. But how did this event begin? How did these girls end up rescuing cats in the midst of a raging fire? And how did this effort grow into something much bigger? The wildfires that started in Los Angeles quickly spread over a vast area. Driven by the winds, the flames leapt from one neighborhood to another. Homes, vehicles, and forests were destroyed one after another. While there was much speculation about the cause of the fire, one thing was clear: people and animals were losing their lives. The fire grew larger with each passing hour, and in many areas, homes were reduced to ashes. In one Los Angeles neighborhood, Emily and Ava's family was also affected by this disaster. However, shortly after the fire began, they decided to dedicate themselves to saving the lives of cats. The twins' parents, 38-year-old Linda and 41-year-old Michael, had always had a deep love for animals. But the sensitivity the twins showed toward this issue caught the entire family's attention. Instead of succumbing to fear amidst the fire's impact, Emily and Ava were determined to do something for the cats. One day, their mother found several kittens in the front yard. The kittens had come dangerously close to the edge of the flames and needed a glimmer of hope to survive. Linda quickly decided to take the animals to a safe place. At that moment, the little twins ran to their mother, determined to help. "Mom, we can save the cats too," said Emily, with great seriousness. Ava echoed her sentiment. "Yes, we can do it." Initially surprised, Linda saw the determination in their eyes and began preparing with them to help. Together, they gathered boxes and small carriers. However, it wasn't just the emotional support from the twins that made this moment unforgettable for the family. It was their active participation. Amidst the flames, the twins became true heroes, rescuing the cats. The heroism of the twins quickly spread throughout the city. Civil society organizations and federal officials began to commend Emily and Ava. The twins inspired not only cat lovers, but an entire community. The federal government announced plans to hold a ceremony to honor their courage. The president expressed a desire to invite Emily and Ava to the White House. This further amplified the reach and impact of their story. The mayor of Los Angeles held a press conference to recognize these little girls as the city's youngest heroes. After the ceremony, Emily and Ava were awarded the key to the city of Los Angeles. Various animal welfare organizations sent them awards and special gifts. However, the most notable award was the Courage Award, presented by the state of California. The twins' cat rescue adventure was filled with many different stories, each one exciting and emotionally striking. Here are the rescue stories of two different cats. 1. Daisy, a life from the depths of the forest. Daisy was a cat that had been missing in the neighborhood for several days, and no one had been able to find her. Just hours earlier, in a neighborhood where flames were rapidly rising, she had been hiding in fear in the garden of her owner's house. She had felt the fire approaching, but had been forced to leave everything behind. While trying to run back to the house, she also searched for a place to hide in fear. At the moment when the fire began to engulf the entire neighborhood, she somehow ended up in the garden where Emily and Ava lived. Daisy was a long-haired cat. The sight of her, trapped in a small pile of grass on the ground, with her exhaustion, panic, and helpless gaze, deeply affected the twins. Emily looked into the cat's fearful, shining eyes at that moment, and suddenly her entire world changed. Her small hands, sweating with palms up, quickly began searching for a box and a few old blankets. The love and compassion inside her merged with the fearless desire to rescue the cat. At the same time, Ava grabbed her mother's phone and immediately informed their father. "Mom, we can save this cat," said Emily. Her little sister Ava joined her, saying, "Yes, we can do it." The trust the twins had in each other encouraged them to take on this dangerous task. They decided not only to be animal lovers, but also rescuers. At this point, Linda, initially a little hesitant, couldn't ignore her daughter's determination and courage. Soon, Emily and Ava began to plan their rescue mission, relying on each other. Their father, Michael, immediately took them along and said they could calm the cat in a safe area. Several neighbors watching the family admired the courage of the little girls and their family. Everyone's eyes were focused on how the tiny heroes would rescue the animals. However, this rescue was too complex to happen in a short period of time. The fire had quickly surrounded the neighborhood. With every minute the flames approached, there was no time for panic for the twins and their family. This was an area where they had to not only focus on rescuing the cat, but also ensure their own safety. Initially, the family considered taking the cat to a rescue center or volunteer groups after finding it. But at that moment, there was a determination in Emily's eyes, a determination that combined with the desire to give life to a small cat. "We can take her home," Emily said. "She'll be safe here." Ava immediately began looking for a large carrier. Together, they made a plan to calmly catch the cat in the garden. But at this point, Daisy's fear had grown even stronger. The cat had wedged itself into a secluded corner of the garden and wouldn't calm down. That's when the calmness of the twins and their trust in each other came into play. Emily got Ava's attention and whispered, "Don't be afraid, Daisy. We'll get you out of here." Ava carefully and slowly followed her lead. The twins, with tenderness, began to calm the cat by gently petting her head. Soon, Daisy began to relax a little. However, as the fire progressed, they would find themselves in an even more difficult situation. The forest area right behind their house was a region where the flames were rapidly spreading. At this point, the twins quickly moved to retrieve the kitten with the transportation box they had prepared earlier. Still unable to shake off Daisy's fearful gaze from her eyes, Emily, along with Ava, placed the cat in the box and began running swiftly toward the house. The air was hot and smoky, but the twins' determination had turned into a force that made them faster than any obstacle. When they reached the house, everything quickly fell into place. The family immediately prepared a special area to keep the cat in a safe room. Daisy, stressed and exhausted, needed some time to calm down. While the twins brought her food and water, their father, Michael, called a veterinarian. The veterinarian expressed concerns about the cat's health, as harmful substances from the fire zone could be dangerous for her well-being. As time passed, Daisy's fear and stress began to subside. The twins, showing her more affection at every opportunity, calmed her and created a safe environment for her. Additionally, the blankets and stuffed toys Emily and Ava had prepared together created a sense of rescue for Daisy. In that moment, the cat, now under the care and love of the little heroes, relaxed, finding comfort in their hands and hearts. A few days later, Daisy's health began to improve rapidly. The veterinarian examined her, and upon seeing how well she had been cared for, emphasized how remarkable it was that the twins, at such a young age, had rescued animals in such a responsible and conscious way. This event not only reinforced the rescuing spirit within Emily and Ava, but also became a lesson for other children and adults in the neighborhood. A week later, an animal rights advocacy group in Los Angeles held an award ceremony to celebrate the courage displayed by the twins. When Emily and Ava accepted the award, Daisy's health was much better, and despite everything, they still carried the peace of being together. After the ceremony, Emily and Ava began to be recognized throughout the city as little heroes. The twins' achievements were not only limited to their love for animals, they also encouraged the community to be more sensitive toward animals. They showed everyone how to carry goodness and hope, even in the face of a great disaster like a fire. This rescue event not only changed Daisy's life, but also permanently shaped the lives of Emily and Ava. The twins began to take on more animal rescue missions every day, and in doing so, they successfully raised awareness in the community about the struggles animals face. Their efforts became a crucial step for animal rights and environmental consciousness. And at the end of this entire process, Emily and Ava received their greatest reward, Daisy's trust in them, a trust built on love, sacrifice, and courage for a cat's safe life. 2. Max, the secret of salvation on a balcony. Max was a short-haired, quite elderly cat, living in an apartment Max led a peaceful life with his owners. When the fire broke out, his owners panicked and fled, leaving Max behind in the house. Max, terrified at that moment, found himself trapped inside the house. However, as the flames approached his apartment, Max noticed something else. Many of the balconies of the buildings were unaffected by the fire. Realizing this, Max managed to somehow find shelter on the corner of a balcony while trying to escape. However, the fire was approaching quickly, and the balcony was becoming increasingly hot. When Max's owner realized that his cat had been abandoned while fleeing, he immediately decided to return. But unfortunately, it had become impossible to go back due to the fire spreading rapidly. Meanwhile, as Emily and Ava's family was walking around the neighborhood, trying to rescue cats and other pets, they learned from a neighbor about Max's situation. Shortly after, Emily and Ava were informed that Max had been abandoned and was in danger. They knew they had to find a way to reach that balcony. However, getting there would prove to be a much more challenging task than they had anticipated. As the fire rapidly approached and became more dangerous by the minute, Emily and Ava were racing against time. Although their mother, Linda, was anxious, she began to trust her children more as she saw how determined they were. The building where Max lived was a large one, with fire-resistant systems on nearly every floor. However, due to the flames in front of the building and the advancing smoke, the paths around the building had become nearly impassable. At that moment, the courage inside Emily and Ava pushed them forward on this tough mission. The question of how to reach the apartment with Max's balcony appeared in the twins' minds with a single thought: quickly, quietly, and by taking the right steps. The twins first came together and began to make a plan. "We must do whatever it takes to climb to the balcony," Emily said. "Come on, Ava. We need to rescue him from this dangerous place." Ava placed her hand in her sister's, nodding confidently. "Yes, we can do this." Their mother, Linda, and father, Michael, along with the rest of the family, were worried as they watched the twins. But they didn't think about stopping them. Instead, they decided to support them by following the twins' selfless spirit, supporting each step they took. The twins quickly moved toward the stairs on the apartment street. Mentally, they were constantly thinking about how many minutes it would take to get there and whether the balcony would truly be safe. However, both of them felt that everything they did to save Max's life was incredibly important. In front of the apartment, a group of neighbors and volunteer rescue teams were still fighting the fire. Emily and Ava tried to push through the crowd as they made their way toward the building. Slowly but determinedly, as they approached the entrance of the apartment, the twins encountered their first obstacle. The apartment door had closed due to the effects of the fire, and getting inside had become nearly impossible. But Emily and Ava did not give up. Using a small ladder they found, they managed to squeeze through the narrow gap next to the door. Once inside the apartment corridor, they quickly tried to reach the fourth floor. As they realized how fast the fire was spreading, the twins grew more tense with each step, but they kept moving forward without stopping. When they reached the fourth floor door, it didn't take long for them to spot Max, a little further ahead on the corner of the balcony, seemingly searching for salvation. Max was trembling on the corner of the balcony, watching them. Fearlessly but cautiously, he took another step toward them. However, in this environment filled with flames, it was clear that one wrong move would ruin the entire plan. Although Max was frightened, he began to approach quickly at the sound of the twins' calm and reassuring voices. Emily carefully called the cat to come closer. "Max, we're here. We came to rescue you. Don't be afraid, we'll take you," she said. Ava quickly prepared the carrier beside her. However, Max was struggling to move from the narrow space at the corner of the balcony. The fire seemed to be getting closer with each passing moment. Looking into each other's eyes, Emily and Ava took another step forward, trusting each other. Slowly and carefully, they reached out to take Max safely. Emily gently held onto the cat's fur, trying to help Max move safely. Ava, with the same confidence, held one of his paws and carefully placed him into the carrier. But this was not only a victorious moment for Emily and Ava, who were waiting outside and feeling the fire's threat from every direction. It was also a great victory for Max. As the fire progressed, Max felt safe in the twins' hands. Once Max was safely brought to the twins' home, they immediately sought help from a veterinarian. After examining the cat, the vet said there was nothing physically wrong with him, but he had been terribly frightened. Max just needed a little rest and time to calm down. After hearing that Max was healthy, the twins sighed in relief. At that moment, Emily and Ava once again realized the true meaning of not just rescuing animals, but also creating a safe space and saving a life. After Max recovered, he was returned to his family. However, the entire neighborhood was talking about the courage and determination of these little heroes. The twins continued to gather more help to rescue other cats and animals. Having saved both a small cat and an entire neighborhood, the twins had formed an even stronger bond in their journey of animal rescue. The story of the twin girls gained more and more recognition every day. But for now, everything was just the beginning. Emily and Ava announced that they wanted to receive more training in animal rescue. After these events, they decided to raise awareness about protecting animals and educating more people on how to respond in fire disaster situations. While still young, the twins took on such a big responsibility that they began giving motivational speeches at many schools in Los Angeles. Government officials announced that they would provide all the necessary support to ensure the twins receive proper training in this field. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Thanks to our valued viewers, we continue to improve every day. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.